What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Well, Russia has attacked Ukraine. We have what looks like a full-on land war in Europe for the first time since the 1940s, and there's been some other minor conflicts that have happened in Europe involving essentially Russia and post-Soviet countries, such as the annexation of Crimea, the war between Russia and Georgia that was kind of a war, but it wasn't a full-on ground war against the entire country. And this one seems to be different, as Russia has seemed to attack pretty much the entire country of Ukraine. It looks like they want to go in and fully take over Ukraine. And now, what does that mean for the people on the ground? It's awful. It's going to be a terrible thing. But what does that mean for your money? Which is why you guys should subscribe to this channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit down below, hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Markets this morning were down in pre-market trading about 3% throughout the United States. Dow Jones Industrials, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, they've since pulled back up to a certain degree. They're only off now about 2%, but markets have been fluctuating wildly as this, world-changing event has been going on. Now, if you are in the Russian market, which I would assume that probably not many people that watch my channel are, but if you are watching this from Russia, I don't even know if you can get this from Russia. It was down about 45% today, and I can only assume that things are going to get worse for the Russian stock market and the Russian economy. So let's look at what we're going to do with this information going forward, because this is a major thing on the world stage. The first thing that I want you guys to do is not to panic. I put out several videos on what to do in the case of a market crash, in the case of a market correction for any reason, and I'll try to link some of those videos up here. But the biggest thing is to have a long-term outlook with your investments. Depending on, it doesn't matter what it is, if it's crypto, if it's a stock market investment, if it's a real estate investment, make sure that you guys are always having a 5, 10, 20 or more year outlook on things that you have that sort of time frame on. If it's something like a quick fix and flip for like a house, or you're trading stocks, that's a different story. But for your long-term investments, which I always recommend people have most of their stuff in a long-term investments, be sure that you're having that long-term outlook. Now, the market crash, these things happen with invasions. They pretty much have always happened when other countries invade other countries, during the World War II era, Vietnam, Iraq. Anytime that the military action happens on the world stage, it creates uncertainty. Markets do not like uncertainty. They're big time on certainty and where things are going in war, especially a war in Europe between major powers, and possibly getting interference with NATO. That is a major market uncertainty. But the thing is that these things usually crash out, and then they typically recover quickly and end up being just a blip in the map on the road. So don't make your major changes to your long-term plan on short-term events such as this. And even if this would go on for years and years, it is still a relatively short-term event in the course of your life. So be sure to not make any panic sells or anything like that. The thing that we need to start looking at as far as economic impact is what is going to happen next with this crisis. Sanctions are likely going to hit the Russian economy in a big way from probably most of the world, maybe excluding China, because I don't think that China is going to fall in line with these restrictions, and we're going to get to them here in just a second. The Russian economy doesn't have a lot to offer for the rest of the world. It's actually a relatively small economy outside of the oil and gas industry. The Russian economy is basically equivalent, or maybe even a little bit smaller, to the economy of Texas alone. So they don't have a far-reaching thing. We don't buy a lot of goods from them other than oil and gas. And like I said, they're geographically large, but they're pretty much just a major oil and gas provider, and that is what is going to probably hit you all the hardest on an everyday basis. So if Western countries apply sanctions to the oil and gas industry of Russia, that is what will probably have the biggest impact on you, the biggest impact on markets, because the energy markets in a lot of ways drive the rest of the market, because all the products and services and stuff that are offered worldwide need to be shipped around the world, and that relies on energy, usually in the form of oil and gas. The gas prices are going to go up. Inflation will continue to rise because of these increase in prices, and the markets will gyrate wildly probably as these things happen. When gasoline hits, if it hits $4 a gallon average, if it hits $5 a gallon average in the United States, and more importantly, the price of diesel, if it gets up to $5 and $6 a gallon, that is really going to put a crimp in people's everyday budgets. It's going to drastically increase shipping costs, and that will drastically increase the price of goods, which will add to our inflation problem that we already have. That is, the most recent data was at 7.5%, and it's probably looking closer to 10%. And then that will also put a wrench in the Fed's program as far as when are they going to be able to raise interest rates, because of course this war will put a negative effect on world economies, especially the European economy. And so we'll have to see how they go with their rate increase program to try to fight this inflation. Now, going forward, I hear a lot of people out there asking, I've seen a lot of comments on my YouTube channel, should I buy the dip? Should we hold on to cash? What should we do? Again, this is a short-term problem in the grand scheme of things, in my opinion. Again, anything I say on this channel is just my opinion. It is not an indication to buy, sell, or hold a stock, crypto investment, real estate investment, whatever. You guys need to do your own research. Think about the things that you guys are going to do and your own strategy, where you are in life. But what I'm going to do, and what I typically tell anyone that asks me, is that I'm just going to continue to dollar cost average my money into markets over time. And that may start to sound like a broken record from me and a broken record from other YouTubers, even though a lot of people are putting out YouTube titles now, sell everything, sell, and I don't think that that's the way to go. But always have that long-term outlook that markets always go up over time. Look at the stock market during World War II, the most destructive war that I can remember, where, Europe was completely destroyed, Japan was completely destroyed. It was just a really bad time. The Soviet Union was nearly completely destroyed. The markets continued to go up over time, and I think that that is what is going to happen in the future. If you have some money that you want to play with, you want to buy the dips in some cryptocurrencies, you want to buy the dips more aggressively in the stock market, you want to buy some individual stocks that might be beat up, you may even look at some defense stocks like Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, things like that, Boeing, companies that make things that are used in war. They may have great quarters. Unfortunately, war is profitable for defense contractors. That's just that's the way it is. But again, have a long-term outlook, continue to dollar cost average in, so that you guys do not really have to worry about timing the markets, because buying the dip is timing the market, and the dip could dip even lower than that. But I guess buying low in the dip is better than trying to time the market high. Now, on another front, on a completely different thing that you guys need to be looking out for, because this could really this could have major consequences, is that China has wanted full reunification with Taiwan for the longest time, and they've been kind of messing with them as far as flying aircraft towards them in sort of an attack type of profile, and they've been doing that for several months. But right now, depending on what happens with the situation in Ukraine and Russia, if that is basically allowed to go on without any harsh intervention, without any hurt to the Russian economy or people, you may see China try to kind of pull the same playbook with Taiwan. And if that happens, you could have major problems, because obviously China is a major player in the world economy as far as goods and services, financial sector, and so that could have a huge problem. You guys, if this helped you out, you got some value out of it, hit that like button for me. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, the notification bell, so you don't miss anything that I put out on personal finance. I appreciate you guys watching today, and I'll see you in the next one.